What up, traders? What up, investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and we are today going to be looking at Tesla. So we started a position for my portfolio and a couple other smaller accounts. We basically bought in the low, mostly the low of the close of yesterday. It was kind of selling off, wrong key, selling off yesterday into the close, and we bought in basically the last 10 minutes at like 608, 609 price. And ever since then it kind of rallied up and then kind of sold off and kind of basically just up at just a couple bucks. Again, this is going to be a longer term hold for us. We would like to get more potentially at a lower price. We're looking at like a 516 or even a 400, 426 actually. These are some of the price targets that we're looking at. We wanted to go ahead and buy a nibble of it. Just to get a starter position going. So what a meaning of a starter position is, let's say you wanted to allocate $1,000, or in Tesla's case a couple $1,000 into a position, you would buy 25 or 20% as a starter, and if it skyrocketed back to 1,000, you would make profit, of course. But if it came crashing down, you can kind of break your I wouldn't be buying all the way down to zero, but there would be a breaking point if it would break like 176. And again, worst case scenario, they said their batteries caused everyone cancer or whatever, and it just, if the cars just catch on fire or whatever nonstop, that would be an issue for sure. But again, this is a long-term position. We're going forth. This is by long-term, I mean 5+ years. So this won't be touched for quite some time. An article that I found, not really the world's greatest fan of the Motley Fool, but they had a nice little article about 11 reasons to buy Tesla and never sell. So I actually read this after I purchased my shares. This came out a couple days ago on the 6th. Today's the 10th, so it's about 4 days ago. So they said the Model 3 is the best electric car for 2020. And that is very true. Like Ford, Nissan, and GM doesn't really have a complete like comparison to it. They have their electric EV models, but they're very hindered on range, and the technology in those packages aren't the greatest. That being said, Elon Musk says that Tesla has now... Oh, come on. Continue to cite, like, forget you. All right, so Elon Musk says that Tesla has now produced 1 million electric vehicles. So Tesla shares have dropped yesterday. That doesn't really matter. But basically, having 1 million cars already in the world, that's quite significant. So basically, just last year, I believe they produced well over 300 and some odd thousand cars. So yeah, 367 Teslas delivered during the year, which helped in 2019, which is a huge amount for sure. The biggest getting that Model 3 up and running. The second reason they say is buy Tesla, but Tesla is not really a car maker. And that's very true. Like everyone just thinks Tesla just pumps out cars, but they did acquire Solar City, and they have the producing of the energy. So you can kind of see here, of course, the beautiful Model S and the Model X in the back, and a beautiful modern-looking house. And they're really about energy. Like, so they have the solar roof, which is the panels, but then they have the solar roof that looks like shingles, but then they have solar panels that are your traditional solar panels, and of course they have the Tesla walls as well, which they have just the demand so high, but the supply is not keeping up with the demand due to the fact of trying to get huge resources for the batteries, and it's just a huge component within that. So beautiful arrays of this, the trying to run the clean energy. They're literally just trying to change the world, to be quite honest. They're trying to just make the world a better place, and I really love that. And that goes right into the number 3 is like the company just wants to change the world and do better, and that goes into the whole manufacturing of how the cars and renewable energies and so forth. And their secret mission is not really secret. Is where they were basically started by building the Roadster, and then using the money to build an affordable car, and then use it to build even more affordable cars, and while doing so, creating zero emission electric car options. So that's no surprise there. It knows how to grow. So basically, cash flow was an issue, and that's a lot of why the short sellers were going after the stock. And after we go through the list of 11, we'll go into looking at the technical side of things. I just kind of wanted to share this analysis and just kind of put these things in your forefront. So if you own the stock or thinking about owning the stock, these are some really cool key points to kind of keep you grounded and actually seeing what's going on, and just to have better understand how enormous impact Tesla has. And they're gearing up for generating cash. The Model Y is being released within like 2 or 3 weeks, I believe, and that thing looks fantastic. Of course, everyone knows about the Cybertruck. Number 7 is basically, as again, gangbusters. They actually had to remove it off of the site. The amount of pre-orders were absolutely ridiculous. It blew my mind, even though after the crazy debacle with the smashed glass. Anywho, so then the Gigafactories. Everyone knows they built that China Gigafactory in like 8 or 9 months. They have the one in Nevada right now. They're breaking ground and developing the one outside of Berlin, Germany. And of course, they have the Gigafactory in Buffalo that basically does the solar panel cells. Again, they're looking to expand even more around the world. They're just trying to create these footholds in these different continents to kind of get around some of the tariffs and stuff like that. And then Tesla's electrics are years ahead of the competition, and this is very true. You can just see the integration they have with the self-driving, and even the basic autopilot is just light years so far away from all the other competitors on being able to handle that, being able to do the concierge mode, like just the simplest things that you can just imagine. Like, it's not a traditional car company that kind of figures out a model and tries to develop. They're just constantly being whimsical on how they add features and think of things, and so great thing. And again, they spent zero money on advertising. Like, you can't even get a car on discount unless you have like the referral program, things like that. But $0 in advertising is absolutely amazing on how they're able to grow this. And the business quarter is built to last. So Tesla's starting goals included to move fast and do the impossible. Again, this is the same company, the guy who runs SpaceX. So they're going to be doing great things for quite some time. And I would love to be along with the ride. And I'm very happy that I am, and purchased a couple shares of Tesla. So we'll see on the go. So let's actually go ahead and throw up the charts again here. So we're going to be looking here at Tesla, the chart, and the breakdown here. So this is the daily chart. As you can see here, since like the last earnings of October of 2019, we've been on a monster run, basically holding the yellow line, which is the 21 exponential moving average. This is going to be on the daily chart, and it just kind of gapped down due to a lot of the coronavirus and the fears of the slowing economy. So basically, on the 25th, it's just kind of been really choppy. I mean, like, by choppy, I mean like these are some choppy waves. So it's been a trading arrangement between 900 and like 600. So I mean 800 and 600, so $200 range. And what I said initially, like, I could see this happening for quite some time, because basically what I believe is going to happen is a lot of these moving averages kind of need to start churning up and stop pointing to the south to the ground and kind of start leveling off here. So if we pump this out to a weekly chart here, you kind of see here we had a very overbought for quite some time. That's why we had that huge run up to nearly $1,000, and then the drop off, and that was just due to multiple factors. Again, I can potentially see this even going lower potentially if more economic bad news is coming out about the slowing the economy and so forth. I could see it coming lower, and I'll be there with open arms to purchase some more of this stock on the weekly chart. And then we're going to go actually pump this out on a monthly chart, and this is where it gets really interesting. We are still super high on the RSI on the monthly chart, which is fantastic. You can kind of see here it was basically traded at like $14. Isn't that crazy? So $14, and it was basically just traded sideways for so many years, basically 2.5 years. And then from 13 to basically 17, we traded sideways, a little lift up of 17 when we like the Model 3 announcements and orders, and then basically traded sideways for quite some time, kind of selling off into the worries of the Model 3 not to be able to launch and all those concerns, but Elon Musk and company destroyed it and did fantastic, and now they're reaping the rewards. So what I've been seeing here is potentially trading in this range. It's going to be a pretty wide range, basically anywhere from like 550, 500 to like 6 or 750 to 800. Like I can see that range going up and down drastically because this stock has caught a lot of people's attention. It's on a lot of people's radar. One little fluke up on earnings or something like that, they say the wrong thing, I can see a lot of people here just selling off for whatever reason. But you just have to kind of believe and understand the fundamentals of what they're doing. Like on the chart, it's going to be pretty drastic, but on paper, what they're doing is literally changing the world, and not many companies can say that this day and age. So that's the reason why I purchased and am long-term a Tesla owner. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.